Hey there friends, it's Codiak here and welcome back to Legacy Gaming and another Assassin's Creed Valhalla video. Hopefully you are all still enjoying the game. I'm currently sitting around 120 hours and I think I'm pretty much tapped out until the River Raid update in February. Now I wasn't expecting to make a new video like this, but I was really surprised to see a post-holiday interview with Ubisoft Montreal producer, and I apologize for botching this, Julien Laferriere. In the Game Informer interview, Julien talks about some of the key pillars of post-launch content that I think it's worth talking about. If you haven't checked out our most recent videos breaking down some of the big things that need to change in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, give that a watch, because I do believe it will help you understand a bit more about this video. Now, the real talking point of the entire interview was that a naval combat system was initially kicked around for the game. Much like Odyssey, there was going to be something similar to that in Valhalla, but after some historical digging, the Ubisoft team realized that Vikings really weren't doing that sort of thing with their ships. I honestly think this is a good move. The river system in Valhalla is a really interesting concept that manages to be both practical and cinematic. If there was some sort of Grand Theft Auto in those narrow waterways, I think it would actually dilute the overall effect of the river system. Of course, naval combat was a huge part of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but we're talking about a much larger body of water, the ocean. Valhalla puts on some serious restrictions when it comes to navigating more open waters. You can sail along the coastline and explore the far reaches of England, but you never really venture too far out. In Norway, it's kind of the same thing. You travel out into more open waters, but you're never really allowed too far from the shore. It also just doesn't make sense to add naval combat to the game. Who would you be fighting out there in the frigid waters of Norway? As far as I can tell, and thanks to a few quick Google searches, there were only 5 major Viking battles that involved a naval component. That pales in comparison to ancient Greece, where naval conflicts were a dime a dozen. Julien also talks about the settlement feature in Valhalla, which the team is incredibly proud of. The goal was to make characters and stories more memorable by rooting them in a more constant reality. He admits that in Origins and Odyssey you'd often complete an area and never return there, so by creating a hub, you have a better way to tell stories, introduce characters, and create memorable moments. I do personally like the settlement feature, I just wish there was some more flexibility to create a settlement that felt more personal to me. I realize the need to have certain things in certain places, but it would have been a really interesting option to choose which buildings go in which places, and overall just have a bit more freedom to make Ravensthorpe feel like my own. Maybe this will be a concept moving forward in the future. I think it's clear the developers are happy with how settlements turned out, so I expect we'll see something similar in future games. Finally, and I think it's worth pointing out, Julien talks about post-launch priorities, and you guessed it, quality of life fixes is top of the list. I do think we've gone too long with some game-breaking bugs. I still see comments on our videos all the time about people not being able to progress because of issues with NPCs and the like, but hopefully now that the holidays are coming to an end, the Ubisoft team will get back on the saddle and push out a big bug fix update before the February launch. Now, I will admit I am very skeptical of the big February River Raid update. It's really the first major bit of free content players are expecting, and if the Yule Festival is anything to gauge our expectations off of, it's going to be riddled with issues. The Yule Festival was a disaster from top to bottom, with quests not working, bugs completely taking players out of the element, and ultimately just being a big letdown for everyone that's been following the game. It was a relatively small bit of content and it was a mess, plain and simple. Hopefully Julien and the team are working on smoothing over current issues before adding in more features. Sadly, it's a pretty common aspect of live service games, add new features and then go back and fix bugs, but we're still dealing with some major bugs currently, and compounding that fact may be a huge issue for players on their last nerve. As always, I am cautiously optimistic that things will get sorted out. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has been a huge source of entertainment for me this year, and I'm really excited that the team is supporting the game throughout the entirety of 2021, with the River Raid update in February and then major DLCs along the way. But that's enough of me blabbing about. What do you guys think about naval combat, the major feature cut from the game, and the settlement systems in Valhalla? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, I'll do my best to respond to each and every one. If you are excited about more Assassin's Creed content coming in 2021, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and of course subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more coming your way as new content releases, and what do you have to lose? It's completely free to subscribe. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.